So you want to unlock the real secrets of the pyramids? To access an ancient power that goes way beyond mummies and gold? And find a user manual for your soul written 5,000 years ago? Well, you've clicked on the right video. The greatest secrets of Egypt aren't buried in sand. They're buried inside you. I'm not going to lie to you, but everything we think we know about ancient Egypt is wrong. We see it as a weird, primitive religion obsessed with death. But what if I told you it wasn't a religion at all? It was a highly advanced spiritual technology, an operating system for human consciousness. I've researched and summarized the core principles of this lost science. So by the end of this video, I'll show you how the Egyptians used a cosmic law to judge themselves, how they programmed their bodies like sacred hardware for the soul, and how their most famous myth is actually a blueprint for you to overcome chaos and rebuild your life. I'll also include a critical insight into why their gods weren't what you think. So stay tuned. Let's define what this spiritual technology was really about. It was a science built on one core idea: the universe is conscious, and you are a direct reflection of it. Their entire society was designed to align the human soul with the cosmic soul. But isn't this just ancient superstition? Well, not quite. The difference lies in seeing gods as external forces versus seeing them as internal archetypes, powerful parts of your own mind. I'm not going to lie to you, but our modern world has set you up to forget all of this. We're taught that we're just random, biological machines in a dead universe. Don't get me wrong, science and logic are powerful, but they're missing the instruction manual for the inner world. While we chase external validation, the Egyptians were engineering their internal state. It's not about worshiping gods with animal heads. It's about understanding the forces they represent inside you. And here's the best part. These ancient principles are timeless. So if you don't start applying this lost technology to your own life now, you're definitely going to regret it when you realize you had the map to your own soul all along and never bothered to read it. But before you can use the map, you need to understand its most fundamental law. So here's where it gets really interesting. Most people think of judgment as something that happens to you from an angry God in the sky. I'm not going to lie to you. I used to think that was the whole point of religion, but let's cut to the chase. The Egyptians had a radically different idea. It was called Ma'at. Don't get me wrong, Ma'at was a goddess, but she was also something much bigger, the fundamental law of the universe. Think of it like spiritual physics, a universal principle of truth, balance, and cause and effect. And they had a ritual that tested whether you lived by it, the weighing of the heart. When you died, your heart, the seat of your consciousness, your choices, your truth, was placed on a scale. On the other side, a single feather. If your heart was heavy with lies, deceit, and selfishness, it would sink, and your soul would be devoured and cease to exist. A second, permanent death. Here's what nobody tells you. There was no external judge. The gods were just there to witness the process. Your own heart was the one and only witness. The weight of your own actions determined your fate. It was the ultimate, inescapable self-audit. What if I told you that judgment isn't something that happens after you die? It's happening right now, every single day. How heavy is your heart? How much resentment, guilt, and fear are you carrying? The truth is, while everyone else is worried about being judged by others, the Egyptians knew the only judgment that mattered was their own. And a light heart wasn't just the key to the afterlife, it was the key to a powerful life. So you need a light heart. But where does that consciousness actually live? Here's what nobody tells you about mummies. They weren't just creepy preserved corpses. Let me be honest, I used to see them in museums and think it was all about a fear of death. Trust me, I also struggled with this. But here's the problem with the way we view the body. We see it as a disposable meat suit for our brain. What if I told you the Egyptians saw the body as sacred hardware, and mummification was the process of programming it for the soul's software? Think about it. Every amulet placed in the wrappings was like a line of code. Every sacred oil was like installing a firewall. The mummy wasn't a dead thing. It was a spiritual vehicle put into sleep mode. a perfectly preserved anchor for the soul to continue its journey across different dimensions. Now, this is important. Their temples were built on the same principle. They weren't just places of worship. They were architectural models of the human body and the cosmos. Walking into a temple was like journeying inside yourself, from the feet at the entrance to the mind, the Holy of Holies at the center. The truth is, consistency beats randomness every time. The Egyptians understood that the physical and the spiritual were not separate. Your body wasn't a prison for your soul. It was its temple, its anchor, its vehicle. Remember that journey we talked about? It's only possible if your vehicle is properly maintained. Now that you have your hardware, here's where it gets really personal. Most people hear the myth of Isis and Osiris and think it's just a dramatic soap opera about the gods. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a story about a god getting murdered, chopped into pieces by his jealous brother, and then put back together by his wife. But here's the problem with that approach. You're seeing it as a story about them instead of a blueprint for you. Let me be honest about what this myth really is. It's a survival guide. Osiris represents your ideal self, your potential, your spirit. His brother, Set, who tears him apart, represents chaos, not some external evil, but the chaos of life, the job loss, the breakup, the failure, the moments when you feel completely shattered and broken into a million pieces. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Isis, the wife who searches for every single piece and lovingly reassembles him, represents the most powerful force you have, your intuition, your inner wisdom, the quiet voice that knows how to put you back together after you've fallen apart. The point of the myth isn't that Osiris came back to life, it's that he was reborn stronger as the king of the inner world. This cycle, order, chaos, and rebirth through intuition, was the Egyptian path to enlightenment. It's about learning to die to your old ego while you're still alive so you can be reborn. The truth is, while everyone else is terrified of falling apart, the Egyptians knew that getting broken was a necessary step to becoming whole. Remember when I asked if you wanted to learn the secrets of the pyramids? Well, we've covered the core of their spiritual technology, not as a religion, but as an instruction manual for you. The secret isn't out there in the desert. It's in here, in your heart. The gods aren't in the sky. They are the forces waiting to be activated within your own consciousness. Be committed to the process. Live with a light heart, treat your body like the sacred temple it is, and when chaos shatters you, trust your intuition to rebuild you stronger. Guys, this ancient wisdom, this inner work, beats any external solution every single time. The systems they built, the myths they told, it was all to transform us into beings who have mastered both the inner and outer worlds. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want more content on ancient wisdom for modern problems. Leave a thumbs up if you like this video and you're ready to start living like your heart is being weighed against a feather. See you next time. Peace.